Well, what an honor to be here. I'm quite humbled. I stand on this podium to bury a friend of years, but I would have failed if I don't recognize the presence of my elder, Pastor Hall. And from the time when we were high school kids, these were the big boys who brought us up. I think I must make it clear, and I'm glad we grew up under your tutorship, and he remains a senior pastor. Now, if I'm really giving you trouble, this is the man you can send to me to talk to me, not small boys. The real people who have a history of where we are coming from. I really appreciate you, Pastor. And I'm glad and thankful to be here with you and the family. And Tsediso, as you had a maverick. Sometimes at funerals, people want to speak nicely. Tsediso was a maverick in his own way. He was there and there. We did things and we traveled places. There's a particular time he took us to some hotel somewhere in the midst of nowhere. He wanted to design a game, a TV game called God Pursuit. And he parked us there for 3 days. Every morning you must wake up and write this long, looking at this guy and say, who the hell does this thing is, but you know him with his strong thing. When he wants things done, things must be done. I remember we must find that game. It was actually, I put lots of brains in that thing. And you kids, if you have no work to do, get that game, develop it. It's a killer game. It's a killer game. And yeah, I enjoyed my time with him. He got me blackmailed in the church many times, because the Adventist church is uptight like that. I mean, you have pastors and what. And Tsediso writes a post and says apostles. Ish, Tsediso, how now, And so controversy has followed me even in my friends. You don't write a post in an Adventist church and say, you're an apostle. What? Apostle of what? We have elders and deacons. We don't have apostles here and bishops. But that has been part of my long journey with Ntate Phomane. I don't regret moments we've spent together, the road shows, Nabovuyo Mkwena, and the rest of the guys doing the gospel thing. Our own way, defying boundaries and moving into those spaces. And he introduced me to media. And for that reason, yes. Some of the very first interviews I did with SABC and the rest of them, he was instrumental in getting things done. And here I am today. I don't know whether I'm doing well, I'm doing bad. Well, I don't know. You also say my obituary the day I die and say he did this and tried that. In the midst of us coming to places such as this, we don't come to talk to those that have passed away. We come to talk to those that are still living so that we can make better choices. I think that's the purpose of a funeral. And many times and often we cry not because we are not feeling the pain, but the greatest pain is when we cry and all of us are seated here. We know we could have done something. Hello? Come on, guys. Let's be honest. We know we all here, because I know for you to be here, you needed to be very close as a family. And I like Corona because you don't get the rubbish coming for funerals. You really get the important people. Even on the listing, you must choose. Can this one come? This one, and then only the core members are here. So I know if you are sitting here today, you are not one of those. You are key to the life of Tsediso. Is that true or false? And if I should sit around and say, could we have done something? The answer is yes, we all could have done something. But the man is gone. And then we sit around and we start biting our teeth. Maybe I should have, we could have, and so we come here to say, when we finish such processes, let's know how to love each other. Amen. Let's know how to care for each other. When you hear a brother, a sister is in trouble, don't sit around and fold your arms and say, oh yeah, who's that issue? Who's that issue? Chocho. And the most dangerous thing in any family are family members. We are capable of destroying each other. And when the enemy bites you from inside, hell no, the whole world will eat you as rubbish. But we know people who can protect each other, people who can look after the interest of each other. And sometimes when some of us are stubborn and are arrogant and are rude, you gave birth to us. We're part of you. Come close and butt your head. We will swear and curse, but stick around with it and work with us. We are not going anywhere unless you want to kill me early. I'm not dying soon. I'm going to be here for quite some time. So let's learn to live with each other. Love a little bit more, kiss a little bit longer, hug a little bit tighter, send that message at awkward times.
check on us and do the loving thing. Do the loving thing. Ungabizwa nje ngamatyala nje, amatyala nje. Mazo kunamatyala kuyabizwa umhlangano. Makunothando akukhulunyiswana. That's not nice. Let's love each other. And one of the things that have got me in trouble of late is biblical interpretation, which I want to use that small little conversation there while we're conversing over the passing away of my brother. I want to do a deep reflection in a few minutes. It won't be a long lecture. In a few minutes. When you pick up a biblical text in your hand, many times and often we have looked at the Bible only to decide and to dictate dogma, which is theology. Thou shalt not, thou shalt not. We must do things like this. We cannot do them like that. Beautiful analog. Let's pack that for the church. Amen. But when you look at the biblical text, interpretation number 2. So the first one is the dogmatic approach, where you're just looking at theology as a body of work that belongs in the echelons of the academicians, where they're arguing from theological sense to theological nonsense. How many angels can dance at the sharpest point of a needle? That kind of mischief that happens there. And they come back from there. Many of them who are theologians don't even believe in God, because it becomes a philosophical pursuit of intellectual gymnastics. You pass there. You come to another realm of interpretation, which I might want to call social understanding. When you read a biblical passage, the question is, the text is telling you what you must do as a community. And this becomes a manual of what you must do. This becomes a manual of what you must not do as a community. So it becomes a guiding tool for how we as people can begin to manage the community around it. And then under social development, then you find a political framework. Does this passage address political issues? And if so, how must the church be involved as to how did the Bible respond to it? Economic issues. This is what happened in the Bible, issues of land and trade. How must the church respond to it? Issues of caring for the widows and orphans and stuff like that. How then do we translate and transport these principles into our day-to-day living? And I think many of us who claim to be Christians have just become philosophical Christians, have become academic Christians. We are convinced to be Christians, not convicted to be Christ-like. If you hear the difference. So hence we say, do you believe? Do you believe? Do you believe? And the only rule, throw away all your fundamental beliefs. They're not important. There's only one fundamental doctrine that he left for us. By this, the world will know that you are my disciples. If you can love one another, show me a church that has that doctrine on their papers, teaching us to love each other. We know how to calculate tithe to the 10th percent on gross and on net, and how many percentage is up and how many percentage is lower. If I had the power, Fundis, to open up my own church, my doctrines would read, when a relative dies, please raise your hand that I will attend. When you hear that I have run out of food, please raise your hand that you bring me some cabbages and carrots. If people can commit to assisting each other, we can build a body of faith. Not sitting around arguing about theological discourse and end up becoming institutionalized and less practical. And D, under 2, we want to go to personal interpretation. We are looking at these concepts and say, as an individual, how do I relate to what the text is saying? Having given you that framework on the top side, I would then want to drag the passage found in the book of John chapter 11 on the death of Lazarus. But in your mind, please start traveling on that passage and see how best you can interpret this passage into your own space. I will not waste your time. My timekeeper here is don't stand. I know when to sit down. A man is sick, surrounded by 2 sisters. I did a sermon some time ago entitled, He Died Between 2 Women. He dies between these 2 women, Maria and Martha. He has a friend, bosom friend, who is only a few kilometers away. A word arrives, your friend is sick to a point of death. And he says, I'm on my way. 3 days later, the man rocks up. The man is dead already, wrapped up and put in the grave. You know the story. When he arrives, I love the introduction. Why did you take this long? Had you been here, this would not have happened. Some nice theological nuances there. There's some certain things that happen in the absence of. And in the presence of, we're excluded from some certain pains. Are you with me? I know a child walking through a graveyard in the night with the father, and the father is scared to death, and the child wants to talk. But daddy, shh, but daddy. Because the child has no fear as long as Papa is around. Your fears are your fears as a father. Me as a son, you there, I can talk in the grave, in the graveyard. I can talk. It's, you deal with your fears. I am dealing with my security. So there is some certain amount of comfort that you have when you know that your back is covered. Are you someone with me out there? Feel like preaching this morning, you know. There I walk through the valley of the shadows of death. I fear no evil. Hey, come on, someone there. For thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. You know, it's the kind of thing. There is an amount of divine comfort in the midst of adversity that we only receive when we know who is backing us up. If you had been here, if I had time, I would have gone to town right there. Take me where he is. I like that part there. Here is where we put him. I like that part there. Remove the stone. I like that part too. You know, Lazarus, come forth. That one's powerful. Unwrap him. I like that one too. Give him something to eat. I like that one also. This whole passage is full, poignant of serious information. Yeshua, Messiah, only performed one miracle on this particular instance. The miracle was Lazarus, come forth. The rest of the miracle is in the hands of those that were there. Where is he? It's your business to direct the Messiah to your grave. Amen. Am I talking to someone? It's your business to take the Messiah where your bones are, where the dead things are, whether it be capacity, it be talent, it be effort, it be money, it be marriages. Where is it dead? Take me there. The GPRIS is not in heaven. Even if heaven knows you are the tour guide to your graveyard, where did you put him? Number two, remove the stone. Huh? So you want heaven to remove stones for you? Heaven does not major in removing stones. It is your own limitations that are blocking your own miracle. Even when God is present at your grave, it's none of his business to be removing the stones of limitations, the stones of sidelining, the stones of perceptions. Some of us are limited by our own faith. Some of us think we believe in God. We believe in idols because the God you have in your mind is to your specification. He cannot do this. He cannot do this. He cannot do this. Who told you he can't do it? Sit around with your vegetarian books reading who must eat what, and God brings food with ravens, dirty animals. No. He should have brought doves. None of your business. Even the most unexpected can still work grace, can convert the unclean to clean. None of your business. We limit God because we've already thought through who he is, what can he, what can't he, what color is he, what complexion is he, who does he love, who does he hate, and we classify ourselves and we limit ourselves in our own graves because of the quality of the stones we've put in front of our houses, in front of our churches, in front of our families. Even if grace is available to call life to us, life cannot access because we have blocked the very voice that comes with healing. The miracle comes. Lazarus, come forth. I like that one there. Sometimes you don't need anything. You just need a word. Hello, ladies? Ladies in the house, say hello. All you need is a word. Here's another young man coming. I love you. And the woman runs away from school. Changes careers. Changes homes. Loses. Here you are now, 4 kids later, 5 kids later. What happened? Just a word. Ever thought? Just a word. You got confused. It was itching here. Where people were talking, you could no longer hear. The word. Powerful word. Now I hear the Bible saying, is there a word from the Lord? That's for another day. Because for you to change your destiny, You sometimes don't need the money. You don't need the network. You don't need the geographical environment. You need nothing. All you need is the word. And when a word is spoken correctly and finding fertile ground on you, it yields a good fruit. And many of us are looking for money. Stop looking for money. Look for the word. Because with the word is the geography. With the word is the network. With the word is the journey. Ish. Come on, someone there. Let my people go. It's the word. But at the end of that word, there is a nation living in another land of milk and honey. The transport is nothing but the word. The quality of information that you collect into your head affects the quality of your movement, affects your destination. Some of you are where you are because of words. So what did they tell you? And what did you do with what they told you? That's why you are what you are. So change the word. You have changed your destiny. Hear the correct word. You may just move your compass. Have you been lost while you're driving? And someone says, it is there, just turn there. And you end up in the wrong direction. It's just a word. Word. If you, like me, coming from the rural areas, when someone is asking that, you cross a river, you are not very far. Don't listen to us. You are 60 kilometers away. You're still going to walk. Not how you're well and you're full and you're uthi nje ujike hayi usufikile how bonilanga liyakhotha makanga kanje umfula wakho na awukafiki, and you know, keep on going, because the word becomes the compass of your movement. Lazarus, come forth. There is a voice that speaks in your life at any moment of your life. No matter how difficult it is, there is a voice that starts to shape your life. I like that part there. Even when there is no bread, there's no water, tell it will be okay. Say the word. Say the word. When things are difficult, don't say I'm going to die. Say the word. If you have a mountain, come on, someone out there, and you say to this mountain, move and be cast into the sea. Many of us want to read that passage literally, and then you get messed up. How can you want to start doing geographical relocation of things when you cannot relocate things in your own life? It's not talking about mountains physically. If you have a challenge, speak to it and cast it into the sea, because your problems are waiting to hear for your voice. Lazarus, come forth. He gets up. Unwrap him. Your business to unbundle your miracle. Someone say amen out there? It's your business. You wrapped it up and you buried it here. It's your business. You put a big stone here. Your business. There is a word. Lazarus, come forth. Boom. Lazarus is coming forth. It's your business to unwrap, unbundle your blessings. Many of us pray for blessings, but we are not prepared for the labor that goes with us unpacking our blessings. Come on, hear the preacher. Do not pray for miracles which you are not willing to perform. I want my husband to become a Christian. You can't even cook for him. You can't even wash for him. You can't even iron his shirt. The Lord must work on it. By the time he says, let's have prayer, you cannot even unbundle that. Come on. Work on it. Work on it. Work on it. Remove the things that limit and unbundle this thing. Because you're going to deal with the blessing and you eat a banana and these pills. Come on, remove the pills. Let's get down to the business. Hello, somebody out there. I can see on your face. Time up, yeah? All right. Was that for me? Okay. Unbundle him. And I like the last one. Give him something to eat. You know, nourish the things that are important to you. Create that table of feasting for that which is important to you. That sort of Lazarus, therefore, to me, speaks of my family. To me, speaks of my church. Amen. To me, it speaks of my country. Amen. To me, it speaks about Africa. Every time I look at the story of Lazarus, I see how our issues, our problems, our economies, our resources, our children have been bundled up and locked behind these dead catacombs and tombs. It takes another generation that can call on the Messiah and direct him to the areas of our failures. Where did you put him? Remove the stone. Unwrap him. Give him something to eat.